Today it's grilled beef tenderloin on the Weber. Let's fire up the grill and let's get cooking. We've got our whole choice tenderloin right here. This weight came in at about 6.5 pounds, which is an absolutely fantastic size. First thing we're gonna do is go ahead and remove some of this connective tissue, some of that silver skin, because we wanna go ahead and get this all trimmed, leaving us with an absolutely beautiful piece of tenderloin to grill. So what I like to do, I like to go through and flatten this out a little bit, take a thin bladed boning knife, and I'll actually wiggle that under a wide piece of silver skin and trim it just like so. And then hold it tight, go back, and we'll trim it that way as well. And then we'll go through here and do that all the way through, get all this silver skin removed, and then we'll come back and show you how to flip it, take the feathers off the backside, and how to take off the chain. So I went ahead and trimmed off all of that connective tissue, that silver skin. But if you look down here, there's a little bit that I didn't trim because that's fat. I'm gonna leave that fat on the surface. Now, flip this guy around, and this is what we call the chain. So we actually wanna go through here now and remove the chain, and we'll go ahead and carefully trim because, you know, you paid for this. You don't wanna lose it and discard it. So what I like to do then is, as you see right here, this part of the tenderloin kind of goes through the chain. I like to just get in there a little bit with my hand and separate that out by itself. And then we'll just go through and trim that off like so. All right, just like that. Now the chain can be cut down further. You can use that for some other things, but basically we are set to go here. We've got it how we want. Again, I'm not gonna worry about fat pieces, right? I'm only gonna worry about connective tissue. Now, flip it over, and these are what I call the feathers right here. So we wanna carefully pull the feathers off, and there's one little piece of connective tissue right there that we wanna get as well. So we'll trim that off just a little bit. Then with the feathers, two ways you can do it, right? You can go through and trim them with your knife, or you can scrape them on the backside. I actually like to go through and just carefully pull them off with the backside of the knife, because then I'm getting off that big, huge chunk of fat, and we're not taking off too much meat. So that should help us there. We are all trimmed up and ready for the seasoning. Now, you could absolutely go through and tie this if you want this to maintain its shape, but I'll tell you what, we're cooking it pretty hot and fast today on the Weber. I am not too concerned with this, and this is a very firm tenderloin. But if you notice that the head part of the tenderloin is falling off easy, or it's very relaxed, go ahead and tie this up with a little bit of butcher's twine. But like I said, for our purposes today, we're definitely ready to go. All right, one clean hand, one dirty hand. What I'm gonna do is lightly oil this down. I'm going to use that oil as a binder today, right? Not too much, because we're not looking for flare-ups. We're just looking to help that rub that we have stick. Today, we're going to be using Island Boys Coffee Rub and Rub It Up. We're going to do a nice 50-50 blend of that. So we'll dig in here. We'll get this all seasoned up, and then we'll show you how to season the backside. And then we are out on the grill getting this party started. We season the top side, we also season the side. Now turn this guy over, and it is time to season the back. Once this is fully seasoned, we're gonna let this sit for 20 minutes while we head out and get the grill started. Okay, we are preheated right at that 500 degrees. Now what we're gonna do is go ahead and get our sear. We've got our warming rack set up, because what we're gonna do now is sear this on each side to get a really nice sear. Then we're gonna move it up to that warming rack. So we're gonna close the lid, let this go. We're gonna sear it for about 3 to 4 minutes per side. Time to give it a rotate. So what we'll do now, I'm just rotating it to the next side. I'm looking to get that beautiful sear. We'll make sure that sits pretty like that. And now we're gonna go for another 3 or 4 minutes, but look at that, starting to get a beautiful sear. We'll get all the sides done. Next up, we'll show you when we're up on the rack, getting ready to add that Weber Connect. When it comes to our temperature checking, you've got a couple different options, right? If you have a smart grill, you're gonna have that Weber Connect system built in there, but if not, go with that Weber Connect unit, or if you don't have that, a Snapcheck thermometer works great. Now, what we're gonna do, come on up here, we're gonna load this probe into the largest part of that tenderloin, you guys, up on that warming rack in the back. Now we're gonna go ahead and set the Weber Connect app, make sure we can track this temp. Well, as you can see, at 500 degrees, we're hovering right at 108 degrees temperature. Now, this is after 30 minutes of cooking. Look at that amazing crust. For today's recipe, we're gonna cook this to an internal temperature of 125 degrees, and then we're gonna pull it and let it rest before we get in there and slice. Just like that, we're done. Coming up next, great side dish, shishito peppers. Be sure to check it out.